and welcome to the second of 4 installments in this year's A Lawn Gnome's Guide to, and of course we are talking about A Lawn Gnome's Guide to College and Graduate School. So, of course, we have discussed part 1, which was basically getting yourself prepared for the college/graduate school life. And now we are going to be talking about the most important thing. No, it's not about how much alcohol you're going to be consuming. It's about handling your classes. Knowledge is power. Going to class is the most important thing that you will have to do, and believe me, as someone who didn't have the strongest undergraduate experience, but really changed himself when it came to going to graduate school, and really taking my schoolwork seriously, practically sacrificing so much, it truly makes a whole lot of difference when you really strive to get the good grades that you need to have in order to be an impactful person in the world. So, how do we do this? As always, there are a couple of tips that I can give you. The first thing that we're going to do, and I'm always going to harp on this, chances are no matter how many times I do this segment and no matter how many topics I talk about, I'm always going to say the same thing. Use the calendar. The calendar is the most powerful tool that you have. Writing your life on a piece of paper is going to pay off in the end, and it really does show. But handling your classes is very important. So how do we start that? With the calendar, you do the same thing that I said in the first one. You plan your week. You know when your classes are, you know what times you need to block off in terms of what you need to do for your classes. So write down what time your classes are, write down your homework assignments, write down any assignments that are done that you have to do in class in terms of group projects or presentations, and always make sure that you have time blocked off to make sure that you do those projects. Number 2, and this is probably one of the most important things, don't be a wallflower. What do I mean by that? Don't be the quiet person that sits in the corner and just takes the classes and does the lectures and takes the tests. It's not going to leave as much of an impact as you might think. Yes, you could go to a class and do absolutely nothing in terms of interacting with the students or the teacher and get good grades. But there's a lot of difference that it can be if you actually raise your hand in class, ask questions, and also contribute to class discussions. The professors are really going to look at you as a different person when they see that you are the person that is asking questions. Don't always raise your hand to try and be the class clown or just ask a question for the sake of asking a question, because a professor is going to see right through you. They will know when you're asking a question if you really want to know the answer to something, or if you are just saying something for the sake of saying something. You show integrity, you show that you want to learn something, and you will definitely have that pay off for you. The other thing that you need to know, document everything. Have a notebook, have a laptop. I don't care what you do, but if you hear something that's important, you write it down. If you think it's important, but it may not be important, write it down. The same thing can be said for your homework assignments. When I read a textbook, this is probably one of the best tips that I can give you. While I'm reading the chapters, I always have a notebook and a pen ready. And I'm reading the chapter, and everything that I think is important to remember, I write it down in my own personal notes. Yes, there are class notes to take too, but one of the things that I know for a solid fact is that when you read and take notes while you're reading your assignments, you will retain that information a whole lot better, and you'll have so many additional notes that will prepare you for exams. I can't stress that enough. Document everything, no matter what it is. In regards to being in your classes, one of the other things that you always need to know is it never hurts to ask a question. Don't think that if you raise your hand, you are considered the dumbest person in the room because you just don't understand something. You know that famous saying that it's better to be seen and not heard? Well, in regards to college or graduate school, that's a bloody lie. If you don't understand something and you really think that it's important, you raise your hand, you stop the class, and you say, "I'm sorry, Professor, I don't understand. Can you explain it to me? Can you provide an example?" Yes, some people will roll their eyes and they will say, oh God, here's this kid again basically stopping class, I want to get out of here. Well, obviously those people are not going to be successful in life if that's going to be their attitudes. Now, granted, I was that person, but that was me because of the fact that I actually knew everything and didn't really want to sit and listen to it all over again, and yeah, that's very selfish, but what can you do? Sometimes you can be too smart for your own good, or too anal retentive for your own good in terms of writing down all of that information. But if you truly are embarrassed and you really don't want to stop the class, two other things that you can do. Stop the professor after class. Say I don't understand. Have the professor explain it to you after class if you don't want to stall class time. Write an email. Say I don't understand. Can I meet you before the next class so we can go over this? Believe me, I wrote each and every one of my professors, if I was confused, a barrage of emails if I didn't understand. Sometimes I didn't understand it the first time and had to ask again and again and again because I wanted to know that I understood the material. Sometimes the professor may find it annoying, but it's going to pay off, and they're going to look at you in a positive light because they see that this person wants to learn and understand something. So, if you don't understand, say something. It will be advantageous. And the last thing that I want to give to you guys today is help others. There is no reason why you can't help a fellow student. Make friends in your class. Find common ground. Talk about the class. That's a great common ground to making friends in your classes. If they are interested, they will get together with you between classes and do homework assignments with you. They will stay after class and talk to you about the class assignments. They can become very good friends with you, so exchange your contact information, reach out to them before the next class to say hello. If you don't understand the homework and you don't want to ask the professor, ask your classmate. Did you understand the homework? Did you do it? Can I see it? Never copy the homework. Unless you're cramming, maybe you can get away with it, but it's never a good thing because if you copy homework and you give it in and you get a good grade, you won't understand it because when the test comes and you got to do it all over again, you're not going to know how to do it and you are going to fail. So ask a fellow student, and I did this a couple of times in my classes at grad school. I said, can you send me what you did? Let me see how you did it. And then I would copy it onto myself, I would do it, I would see how they did it, I would then understand it, and then I would repeat the procedure again to make sure that I understood how to do it so that when test time came, I could do that whole thing on my own. So working with friends, exchanging homework assignments, doing homework assignments together is something that's really going to pay off for you in terms of getting through your classes and understanding the material. And that's all that I have for you guys today. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the third part of this installment of Lawn Gnome's Guide 2, and please put your comments in the box below. I would love to have a discussion. Let me know if any of these methods were things that you used and if they worked or if they didn't work. And I'll see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words.